Hello and welcome back to Pommy and Oz. I hope we're all doing really well. We're here. It's the start of the men's season. I can't wait. My Blue Boys kick us off tonight. So if you are new around here, please drop a like, please drop a sub. We're doing really well in that avenue and it is making me super happy. So please do it. Join the crew and let's have a discussion about footy. Today what it is the AFL Round 1 previews and tips. So let's see how we get on. And we start off with the traditional season opener. Carlton versus Richmond, 7:25 today at the MCG. And this is always a traditional, really exciting fixture. It's a tough start for my Blue Boys. As we know, Carlton obviously have recruited well. A few of them recruits will make their debuts today. Richmond, on the other hand, it's just more of the same. If we look at the last five, we know Richmond have got the wood on Carlton. We know Richmond are on a 10-game winning streak on Carlton. We have to go back to 2013, the last time my Blue Boys usurped them. So traditionally, there is going to be a sign that, you know, the trend is booked. Can Carlton do it, though? You know, I've got to take my Carlton glasses off for this, but I do think that Carlton, if they are going to be a finals chance this year, they have to make a stand. They have to do it. I know there's a lot stacked against them, but on this occasion, I am going to be tipping my Blue Boys 7. I do think they can get the job done. I think a lot's going to depend on their start. They have to start well. We have seen Hawthorn set the template in 2020 of how to beat them. St Kilda also mirrored it. You can see what Teague's trying to do. It's a fast game plan. Richmond are probably, for me, though, the hardest team to beat in the competition, particularly early doors. It's going to be an interesting one, but I'm going with Carlton on this one by 7. Live or die by the sword. Then on the Friday night, we've got the Pies versus the Doggies at 7:50 again at the MCG. And this is an intriguing fixture because there's a little subplot here, isn't there? Adam Treloar has been named in the Doggies side. He comes up against his old foe. Now, a lot has been talked about the Pies, and have they, you know, are they in a micro rebuild? What's going on? The jettisons players last year. One thing that I think is underrated about Collingwood is their list isn't bad. And if anything, I actually think that they've recruited and used them structures to actually improve an already talented list. The Doggies, on the other hand, have a superstar midfield. We know historically Collingwood are on a 4-game win streak against the Doggies. So there always is that in. Collingwood know how to dissect the Doggies' game plan. But this is a new Doggies. They've got another year. They're galvanised. They have a really good game plan. And also I think that their brand and their ability to really spread the load, where Collingwood really look for a structured approach in defence. I think the Western Bulldogs are just too good in this occasion. I'm going to back the Doggies here by 11. I think they'll get a win and break that streak. Then 1:45, the afternoon specialist Melbourne Demons, they entertain the Fremantle Dockers at 1:45. And this game is a real intriguing encounter for me. We know that Fremantle, in recent history, they've got the wood on them. We know last time they played Fremantle, they did get the job done, beating them 47-33. But I think this is a different situation. I think the Demons are more galvanised. I like the look of the Demons. And I think as well, with the injuries that Fremantle have, I think this is going to be a big job. I don't think Fremantle at full strength would lose this one, though, I have to say. I just think, you know, with them, when you have the Max Gawn factor, he hasn't got much competition in this game, and he is going to get really on top very early. And when traditionally Gawn gets on top, their midfield gets up and about. It's a very talented midfield, and I think they've just got a bit too much on the ground versus what Fremantle are missing. I'm going to tip in this one. Melbourne Demons by 13. I think they'll get the job done, but I think Fremantle still will be a threat. And don't worry, I haven't turned against them just yet. Then we take a trip to Adelaide, 4:35, and we've got the Adelaide Crows. They entertain the new look Geelong side, and this is going to be intriguing because we're going to probably get to see Cameron and Hawkins link up, and we know Geelong, they have the success against Adelaide. They've got 3 wins against them head-to-head in their most recent games, and they should feel really confident. Last year as well, they grinded out that 65-37 victory, and I can see more of the same. You know, Adelaide still, I think, are missing a lot of depth in that side against a top side such as Geelong. I think it'll be too much. I think this one, though, will be a really entertaining game. I've got a feeling that this one will be an exciting game and probably won't be as big a blowout early as many people are predicting, but I do think Geelong will just have the extra legs, the extra experience. I think it'll blow out towards the end, but I think the opening exchanges will be quite entertaining. I'm going to tip Geelong here by 33. And I think the 4 points will go back to the Cattery. Then 7:25 on the Saturday night, we're back at Marvel, and we have Essendon, and they entertain the Hawks. Now, the Essendon Football Club, they have a 2-win streak against onside, which, you know, I think Clarkson will hate. In pre-season, both sides have shown a little bit, both sides have shown a bit of vulnerability, but I do think there's something about this Hawks side. I do think the additions of Phillips are a real big thing to how Hawthorn play. It offers them a width and it offers them the ability to spread the contest as well. I've just got a feeling that Hawthorn are the dark horses in this one and are also going to be them ones that are tough to pick each week. I'm going to tip Hawthorn here by 8. I think Clarkson's experience and his grit and determination will usurp more of a youthful looking Essendon side. Hawthorn by 8 for me on this one. 7:45, we head to the Gabba for Brisbane versus Sydney Swans. And many people's picks to take out this thing are the Brisbane Lions. Brisbane start at home, obviously in Queensland. They have a 2-win streak versus the Sydney Swans. So they'll be feeling fairly confident in this one. And there's no reason not to be. I mean, they've got the Brownlow medalists on the side. They've got an absolute phenomenal list. It's got great depth. It's very tough to break down. Sydney, on the other hand, they're in that kind of like micro rebuild, aren't they? It's in like the second stage, you would say, of their development. I do think that this one's a bit too much for the Sydney Swans early doors. I think the Brisbane Lions will win this one quite comfortably, tipping the Lions by 24. We go back to Marvel on Sunday at 1:10. North Melbourne, they entertain last year's minor premiers, Port Adelaide Football Club. And for North, this is going to be a real tough one. It's a baptism of fire, isn't it? Because it's really many people's 18th versus last year's first. And it's going to be a real interesting encounter. North Melbourne are going to learn a lot in this game very early on. Port are a very tough side to beat. They play an exciting brand and they're really attacking. So I would say on this one, I just can't see past Port. I think Port, even though they have to travel to Melbourne, they still have way too much in the locker. They've got talent all around the ground. They're a deadly potent attacking force. I've got Port Adelaide here by 37. Then we head to the Giant Stadium, 320. GWS look to get themselves back on the winners' podium and back in the 8. And they begin their campaign versus St Kilda, who were last year's runaways, really. They were superb. Last time out, it was 82 to St Kilda versus GWS's 30. And obviously last year is a tough one to analyse because GWS just weren't at their best. I do think the galvanised pre-season has shown that it's more of that Giants way. The ball control, the ball movement's more direct. They look a bit more up and at it, a bit more hungry. They're not second to the ball as much. Will that translate, though, against, for me, one of the best offensive sides in the AFL? I don't think it will. I think it's a bit of too much of a task. I fancy St Kilda here, and I think St Kilda will enjoy that. They get a bit of freedom on the ball against GWS. They don't really pressure as much as the other sides. They more rely on their exquisite ball movement and their skills. St Kilda here for me by 16. I think the Saints will bring back the points to Melbourne. And we finish with the Eagles at 6:10 on the Sunday at the marvellous Optus Stadium. And it's a tough one here because obviously last time out with Rowe, Gold Coast got the chocolates. Obviously it was a tapered year, wasn't it? There was a lot of indecision. Everyone was affected by COVID. And they did get the win 90-46. This is 2021 though. This is in Perth. This is where the Doggies and the Eagles look a different outfit, don't they, when they're in Perth? I just can't see it here. I mean, I'd love to tip Gold Coast, but I think, you know, after last year as well, there was a poor start by the Eagles. I think the Eagles will have learned from that. It put a lot of pressure on the later years. They will be going hard here and really looking to even the ledger. I've got West Coast winning this one by 37. I think they will put on a show. It's round one. They're hungry. And I do think the Eagles are always deadly when they're unthought of. And not a lot of people are talking about them. They're the tips then for the opening round. Who have you got? How do you like your team's chances? Let me know in the comments. I'll be back tomorrow with AFLW's tips. Pom out.